I don't know about you guys, but I've been busy as fuck. That's right. It is time for the weekend shop update. I am Mike, and this is Cleveland Cutting Board and Furniture Company. We do this. I try to do it every week. Doesn't always work out that way, but here we go. This is what's been going on in the shop since the last time we talked 3 weeks ago. So not to make excuses, but for those of you who don't know, my other job is I do wedding photography in general. So wedding photography, senior pictures, I do a little bit of everything. If it has to do with the camera, I'll take pictures of it for you. So I'm wrapping up wedding season. I just finished my last wedding this past weekend. I had a wedding before that. That is an all-day thing, and it just keeps me out of here it takes me a while to recover, so it's a lot of work. But anyway, if you need a photographer, be sure to check out Mike Lazuski Photography on social media, as well as a website that's coming soon. Finishing up wedding season, going into senior picture season right now. The leaves in Ohio are starting to pop, so prime time is now for the next 2 or 3 weeks. So if you need a picture, I'm your guy. Anyway, back to woodworking. What's been going on in the shop? Let's see. For those of you who don't know, we moved in this new shop about 7 or 8 months ago. In the part of the building, there was a gravel floor. It was sloped the wrong way. Water from the city street was running in the building. The door that was there was terrible. So I demoed that all out. I tore the door down. My buddy Matt and I and some of his buddies got together yesterday, actually, poured a new slab 2 days ago, just not too long ago. Poured a new slab back there. I have a door coming. It's going to be framed in. I'm going to frame that in. My buddy Matt and I are going to do that, and then I'm going to put up a new door. So that'll be dry, all enclosed here by the end of October. That's going to be a storage area. I'll have a nice, dry, clean place to store slabs and other stuff and unessential stuff I don't need in the shop every day. So I'm really looking forward to that. So once again, I'm going from a 400 square foot shed to lots of storage and a big shop. So I'm really excited about having that ready. So we got that taken care of. That project's well underway. Signage. The secret sign of the month for last month was for my friend Sherry and Kurt. Kurt spelled with a C, and there's 2 L's in her last name. I know that now, but anyway, this is the second sign I made for him. First one, I was in a rush doing 10 things at once as usually. So I made a couple mistakes. One being I put 1 L in his name and not 2. Should have known better. Anyway, a great couple. I was fortunate enough to photograph their wedding, which was awesome. It's always flattering to me that when someone asks me to do that kind of stuff, because I don't know, I always feel lucky to be able to photograph such a special day. So secret sign of the month goes to my good friends Sherry and Kurt. This is being dropped off to them this weekend, maybe today. So yeah, I got that done. Let's see what else we got on here. Did some wood turning this week. I got my California, you can kind of see it right there. That's a California redwood burl slab. I had a rough day. I was really tired, but wasn't tired to go home, so I cut off a section of it and turned a redwood platter. The grain on this is still pretty nice. It's not quite as nice as the last one I turned, but this one, my buddy Doug said, it looks like there's fire inside of it. So here's some better video pictures, but yeah, it turned out cool. I did a hard wax finish on this. As an experiment, looks okay. I don't know if I do again, but this platter is for sale. This would be a great platter to do like some light engraving, maybe for a gift for somebody or natural. So anyway, this is up for sale. It'll be on the website here in a few days. Let's see, that's that list. Let's see what else is on the list. I'm not going to talk about that. Egg trays. So I came out with this product a couple weeks, maybe a month or so ago, the deviled egg trays. I love deviled eggs. I wish they loved me back as much as I love them, but I think you get the picture. Deviled egg trays. These, I'm down to my last 3 of these. I'll probably do another batch for the holidays, and then I'll probably be it for another year. I'll probably make I got material to make probably another 10 or 15 of them, so I'll probably make another batch, and then I'll probably be it for until the end of the year. So, and these can be customized. So my logo will be on the bottom. I haven't laser engraved these yet, but there's plenty of room here if you want to put a family name. So you can use it literally as a charcuterie board on one side and have your double egg tray on the other. This is nice because you can prep them in the kitchen. They're spread apart, so when you go to grab your deviled egg, you're not putting your fingers and all the other ones around it where the angle is. And it's nice too because it's kind of nice display. Better than just taking a Tupperware dish, throwing them in there and packing them in and making a mess. So deviled egg trays, another batch coming. Restroom sign. I needed a restroom sign for a project, for another project I'm working on. So I wanted something a little bit different. I wanted something that's going to tie my woodworking business together and this other business that's I'll be talking about more another date. So I found this piece of, I believe it's spalted silver maple. I'm pretty sure it's what it is. It was back there, live edge. I squared off some of the live edge, kept the majority of the character here, knocked it out on the CNC, used a nice traditional. This is going to go above the door in a going to the restrooms here in the building. Just put a nice, clean, simple varnish on it. I did 2 heavy coats, light sanding, and a 3rd top coat, or 2 heavy coats, light sanding, blew it off compressor, wiped it down with mineral spirits, let that dry, then did a final top coat. Looks really nice. I'm probably gonna hang this up this week and I'll have more pictures later. So got that project off my list. It's been on the list for a while. Let's see, restroom sign out there. Let's see, speaking of websites, I am working on a second website. So I actually started Branch Woodcraft a couple years ago. Branch with an E means trendy in French. So it's kind of trendy woodworking, branch, tree branch. Get it? Ties together. Anyway, so I've been working on that website for a while. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate anything to do with cutting boards, kitchen type stuff on the Cleveland Cutting Board site. And then on the other branch site will be where I show stuff like this. These are some tables I've finished. These are all done up for sale. I did something called light painting. I took these pictures. What light painting is when you take, you put your camera on a tripod, turn off all the lights, you get your subject, and you take a flashlight, and as you hit, you have a long exposure. I think these were 8-second exposures. So then you take your flashlight and you're actually painting, you're using the light from the flashlight to help the camera see the subject, and it creates a cool effect like that. So if you don't have a bunch of strobes and flashes and studio lights, this is a great way to get some good quality pictures. So check out light painting. There's a million tutorials on YouTube on how to light paint. It's a really cool effect. You can do some cool stuff with it. So got that done. Wood turning. Speaking of wood turning, talked about the bowl. I am offering some wood turning classes. I've talked about this before. I've been getting great feedback. I talked to my buddy Kip. He's gonna be my guinea pig. I was supposed to get with him last week, but stuff got crazy here at work with everything that's going on. Let's remember something else to talk about. So I didn't get to hook up with him, and then we fell into this week. It's a big weekend here in town, so I got a lot going on with there's a festival going on, so I got tied up with helping with that. So I'm gonna begin. Kip's gonna come in. I'm gonna give him a call maybe this weekend and see if he can come out next week. What I'm gonna do a practice class with Kip on wood turning. So the way the class is gonna work, you're gonna have the option of turning a bottle opener or a wine topper. So when you come to the class, you'll pick which one you want to make, and then if you say you want to make a bottle opener, you're gonna have the choice. I'll have all the blanks here. You'll have a choice of maple, cherry, and walnut. These will all be prepped for you. The drills will be set up. And then you will go through and I'll show you all the steps to making it. And then you can pick out, right now all I have is the gunmetal in stock, the bottle opener tops, but I'll order some gold and then some chrome, so you'll be able to pick that. So you'll come in, you'll pick which species of wood you want to do, what top you want to do, and if you want to do, like I said, this goes in your wine bottle or bottle opener. So Kip's gonna be my guinea pig, and then once I get through, work out the class notes, get an idea how long it takes for a new wood turner to do it, and then I can figure out the price from there. So, and then obviously when you make it, you get to keep it. So the price includes not only the class, the training, includes the material, the top, includes, there's time, people don't realize is, leading up to the class, I have to go through the handful of tools we're going to use. I got to make sure they're nice and sharp, and so it takes time to do that, and the setup. So all that's got to be incorporated in the price. So I will be announcing more on wood turning. My plan is to have the class set up, established, priced before the holidays. Excuse me. Throat's a little dry. Probably drank too much whiskey yesterday. Thanks to my favorite aunt, got me peer pressured me, but another story. Yeah, so once I get all that figured out, the plan is to have this all worked out, pricing, and then set up a schedule. So this is one of those things I get asked every year. This would be a great gift for somebody. I have a lot of buddies who want to learn it. I've had a lot of ladies that have come to me and said, hey, I'd like to learn how to do that. So I'll be offering those classes. And it's time. Right now I've only got the one lathe, so it's going to be one-on-one, or maybe me and 2 students. Maybe if a couple wants to do it, we can work it out where we go back and forth. So more to come on the wood turning classes here eventually. So that's off the list. Let's see. I finished up another table. So here's that table I just showed you a minute ago. I did round painting, little light painting. Finish up this table. This is a slab I poured 2+ years ago. It's a walnut crotch. I did a black resin, poured it, and I got it out of the mold. And then I sanded it. I did like a rough pass sanding, got it kind of roughed in, not rough, but smoothed it out, did the details, and it just sat in my corner, and I stared at it. I couldn't find a base I liked. I was gonna make a base, but I started getting into it, and I couldn't come up with the one I liked. So then I went on Floyd Line Design. I found these legs here, which I think fit perfectly. This is a lower table. This would be a great table for like in the corner, or maybe if you have a smaller living room, you want a nice coffee table that's kind of low. And doesn't overpower the, some people have these smaller living rooms, they put tables that are too big, they overpower it. This would be nice for a little lounge area, maybe a little seating area, maybe a little home bar or something like that, or a little lounge area. You want something just kind of put in the corner between two nice chairs. Something that doesn't jump out at you, but people will walk by and go, wow, that looks nice. I think it's something that's gonna help a room, take an average room or a boring room and take it up to the next level with, it's a great functional focus point in a room. Yeah, so got that all done. Let's see. I asked, so every month I try to do something I call a kitchen question. This past month I asked, what percentage, how do you like, when you're making a burger, what percentage of ground beef do you like? Like me personally, I like 70-30. So I put the question out there, how much lean versus how much fat. And there was one clear answer. Some people said 90-10. To me, that's not enough fat. The fat is the flavor. So you need to have some fat. 90-10 is, if you're trying to eat healthy, maybe, but I think you lose some of the flavor. I think 60-40 is a little bit too much fat, a little too greasy. I personally, and the majority of the people who answered the question, the answer was 70-30. 70-30, 70% lean with 30% fat was the number one answer for that kitchen question. What percentage beef? Is that the right way to say it? What beef do you buy? I think you all get it, but 70-30 is real popular. So the kitchen question is something I ask every month. I try to do every month. So if you have a kitchen question you'd like me to use, message it over to me and I will consider it. So that was pretty interesting. Another thing, if you are watching this, down below in the comments, I'm curious, put down where you're watching from. It's kind of weird. I get recognized every now and then with all my couple hundred followers, but it's flattering. But I was at a concert not too long ago and someone came up and goes, there's thousands of people there. A young girl and her dad walked up, young girl being in her probably early 20s, said, hey, me and my dad love watching your videos. So, wow, it's pretty flattering. My buddy was with me and he's like, what the hell was that all about? So it's pretty cool. So yeah, leave me a little comment below. Let me know where you're watching from. Also, while you're leaving that comment, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. The more you guys subscribe, the more people I see joining the channel, the more it tells me I have to put extra effort into this because I do have some more plans. I got some more, I'm planning on expanding this channel and just doing some more stuff. I have some build videos I want to do. I've been really busy. I haven't had a chance to do any build videos because I've been working on the shop. So you can kind of see right over here, right there. I had to put in some new doors. This was all wood framed. Well, here, I'll show you a video here. This was wood framed originally. The doors were kind of crappy. It wasn't the best option for what I want to do with the other half of the building. So we ripped all that out, dimmed it all out, and then put in some some fire rated doors, took out the wood framing, and then put in some CMU walls. My buddy Matt and I did that, turned out awesome. A different mat from the other mat. I have two Matt buddies. A lot of friends named Matt, but I have concrete Matt and I have masonry Matt. Masonry Matt, yeah. So anyway, Matt and I put these in. Awesome job. Makes a big difference. Also helps keep the sound in this side of the room and not so much penetrating that side of the room. So that's all done. I still got to do the paint. I got to paint it still because with masonry, as you know, you got to do a block fill first and then a color. So the plan is to eventually block fill this. There's another door over here. Block fill it and then go through. So you got to block fill it, go through, and then paint this whole wall. So I'm gonna take everything off this wall, that wall down there. If you notice, is changed. That wall there, we took it all the way to the deck. So this whole room is totally contained. So in a 1 in a billion chance a fire started in here, it wouldn't leave this room because now we are totally enclosed within this room. This door over, that door right there, that's a new door. That's also a fire rated door, and we added 3 layers of drywall on this wall behind me to make it all fire rated. So that was a big undergoing. I'm glad it's done. It wasn't cheap. 3 fire rated doors. The doors alone were $10,000 for a 307, a 3 foot by 7 foot door, a set of double doors, in that door with the hardware, the closures, the fire rating, $10,000. Then you figure in the cost of the masonry and the mortar and the time and the lintels. Yeah, it was quite expensive, but money well spent. So I got that all done. And I think that's pretty much it. Which leads me into the next two segments. The first segment I want to talk about is something I've not done in a while, is a small business shout out. So this is something, as a small business owner, the number one thing that helps us is word of mouth. We can advertise all we want, but until we get that word of mouth going and people start sharing our products, that's what's best. And someone has helped me spread my business and help spread that word of mouth and has helped advertise and share my stuff online has been my local Chamber of Commerce. Every city has one pretty much. I didn't know, I've always seen, in my town, I've driven by it for 50 years. I've lived in this town off and on, and I've always seen Chamber of Commerce, but never really sure what they did. I thought it was just part of the government. Turns out Chamber of Commerce is a separate entity. It's not part of your local government. And what Chamber of Commerce does is they're there to help your business. They help promote your business. They help, I had some issues with some items with when I first bought the building. Chamber of Commerce stepped up, helped me do that. They help promote stuff. They help cross promote. So if you have a small business and you're in a town that has a Chamber of Commerce, it is well worth it. They actually have other things. They can offer you insurance at discounts. I mean, there's all kinds of things. There's all kinds of group benefits to being part of the Chamber of Commerce. So check out the Chamber of Commerce in your town. If you happen to be in Vermilion, I highly recommend the Chamber of Commerce here in Vermilion. Sandy Coe and her team at the Chamber have done an awesome job. Not with my business, but my wife and I have two businesses in town, getting ready to start a third business, possibly a fourth, but we have I have a dozen friends. I'm friends with pretty much every business owner in town with one aspect or the other, and they all say the same thing. Chamber of Commerce is well worth the $100 or $120 a year. So yeah, definitely check out Chamber of Commerce in your town. And finally, I'll leave you with dumb shit people. Sorry, hold on a minute. Just someone asking about a cutting board. So that leads me up to dumb shit people say to small bit. Hold on. Dumb shit people say to small business owners. This past week, I had someone come up to me and ask me, what is it that makes your product special compared to other places? So, and I try to explain to them, no, we do things here at Cleveland Cutting Board a little bit different. Like one thing we do, our cutting boards, we only use solid strips of wood, and we only use hardwoods. We don't use woods like we use only the proper hardwoods. Like technically, pine is not a hardwood, but I see these cutting boards that use pine. Pine's not a good option. I see cutting boards that use red. Use red oak. Red oak is not a good option. White oak is an okay option. Red oak is too porous. It absorbs too much. You want to wood with a nice tight grain. So not only that, but I go through, when I cut up a board, I only use, I make sure every piece I go around, I slice the board up and I go back and I use it I make sure I get the right pieces. That's where these pieces come from. These are all offcuts from cutting boards. Maybe the board had a knot in it and I didn't want to use it. So, yeah, that is, oh, geez, come on, lady. Done. Send. Okay. Done with that. I'm not answering any more stupid questions. So anyway, so our cutting, I go on and on. So there's a lot of reasons that make our cutting board special. We only use quality hardwoods. We only use Titebond 2, which is not only it's an FDA approved glue. I mean, it's soluble. And actually there's done tests where they take two pieces of wood, glue them, and they try and break them, and a lot of times the wood fibers will break before the glue joint breaks. We only use full lengths of wood. We don't do end-to-end butt joints. And what that does, that's just a bad joint and that's gonna fail. We don't do that. We only use full strips of boards in our cutting boards. We only use Howard's cutting board oil with vitamin E. That's the best stuff for a cutting board. We use that, and then we top that off with a board conditioner or a board wax or both, depending on what we have in stock. But yeah, so I mean, I could go on and on. And then we're 100% handmade. Yes, we use the CNC to do a juice groove. There's no other way to do it. You can do it with a handheld router, but it's the same thing. So, but every piece of board is hand joined together. Everyone is handmade, hand oiled. The rubber feet, the soft rubber feet we put on the bottom, hand installed. So yeah, that's just a lot. That explains why our boards are better. So I'm not answering any more messages. So anyway, that is it for this weekend's weekend shop update with Cleveland Cutting Board Furniture Company. I am Mike, and I will talk to you later. That's it. Have a good weekend. Bonk.